Well, but here we are again doing this little charade of stuff that I read for this month. Hello, everyone. Britton here, also known as Samoki Dude, and today I'm back with another video where I will be discussing all of the books that I read in April. Now, April kicked my ass. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty. It was a tough month. I'm about at the end of my semester for college, so that's kind of the reason why, and I had to catch up on some stuff because I made a couple of oopsies, but that's alright. That's all over. It's done in the past now. I managed to complete 3 books this month. That's just sad, but you know, it is what it is. I didn't read any comics. I hope to change that this month because Free Comic Book Day is coming up this Saturday. But yeah, so we're going to talk about the books that I read this month, and if I already made a video discussing it, because I've already discussed some of these books, I'll put that down in the description. I kind of forgot to do that last time, so yeah, sorry guys. So yeah, let's get into it. Book I read was a book I've been meaning to get to for a while. I got it for my birthday, and it is Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie, the sequel to The Blade itself. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really good. I already kind of did a review, so I'll try and keep this book short. So I'll try and keep this little tangent here short. But I enjoyed Before They Are Hanged. I thought it was a really good book, very good sequel. Admittedly, it's kind of an odd case where it's not very plot heavy, but there are more things that happen in this book than it does in like The Blade itself. I will say I wasn't as entranced by it as I was with Blade itself, but this book is really, really good, and I enjoyed myself when reading it. I thought, man, this is really good. Once again, the character dynamics are really good. I love how Joe Abercrombie can just nail the character voice like it's nothing. It's just, this man is just really good, and I really enjoyed it. My favorite part was probably, of course, I'm probably going to get mocked for this, but it was actually Glocta's story that I liked the best, because it's probably, well, that and Logan and Giselle becoming friends. I thought that was a really nice touch. I really enjoyed Glocta's part, though, because it's a very interesting, there's a lot of intrigue and who's betraying who. I love that type of stuff when it's done well. I find that with every book, I started the 3rd book this last month, and one of the things I've discovered when reading the first Law trilogy so far is that there is a theme throughout each book. Last one was about Blade itself is about disillusionment, and this book is more about the price of kindness. I thought it was an interesting take, and how good deeds never really do much good for you. Glocta finds this out the hard way a lot. We even see Logan having to struggle with this, and there's also themes of redemption. How far will you go for redemption? Like, can redemption even be possible for some of these people? Glocta and Logan Ninefingers kind of grapple with that. Really interesting stuff. And again, the prose, the fight sequences, very punchy, filled with personality. I was reminded a lot of Robert E. Howard when reading this. It's basically like if you love like Conan, or the old sword and sorcery type of stuff, read the first Law trilogy. It is really, really good. So yeah, that's really all I gotta say for that. Next book I'm going to be talking about is a book I've been wanting to read for a very, very long time. It's a book that is from someone who you might be aware of. And that is Galveston by Nick Pizzolatto. Now, you might know who Nick Pizzolatto is. If you don't, he's the guy who created True Detective. Season 1 I still hold to be... Oh, son of a bitch. Kitty? Stop it. The first season of True Detective I still hold to be one of the greatest television seasons that I have ever watched. It's just unbelievably good. And I had always wanted to read Galveston because I wanted to see what he would do with a novel. and I was very pleased with it. I love the prose in this. The dialogue's very sharp, and the story is it's more intimate than True Detective, but nonetheless character driven. I was left really sad by the time that this book was over. It's a story that I really like how this story goes in a direction, but then it just completely subverts your expectations on what's going to happen, and it makes me sad that Nick Pizzolatto hasn't written another novel since then. I have heard, I have stalked through his Instagram profile, and he has said that he would like to do another novel, but he's just busy with other stuff at the moment. So I would love to see him do another novel in the vein of Galveston. I mean, Galveston was really good, very quick to read. It's a really sad book as well. We also get a blurb from one of my favorite crime authors, Dennis Lehane. I have to agree. This was a really, really good book. I enjoyed myself. While reading it, I thought this was a really good book, man. It does a familiar type of story in a new and interesting way. I also saw the film with Ben Foster and Ella Fanning, which is a pretty solid adaptation of this book. I thought it was pretty good for the most part. Ben Foster, I think, is a very underrated actor. I think he should get more love than he receives. But sadly, that is not the world we live in. We live in a world where he does not get enough love. But he was very good in Galveston, and Ella Fanning is really good in Galveston as well. Again, the story in this is really sad, very heart-wrenching. Check this book out. It's really quite something. Third book I'm going to be talking about is actually a book from a friend of mine that he gave me around last month, and I finally got off my lazy ass and read it. I'll admit, I kind of, like I said in the discussion video we had, where we kind of badly tried to not spoil it, we didn't spoil it too much, but it was really hard to talk about this book without really getting into the details of what happens in the story, and that is A Song for the End of the World. I'll admit, like I said in the video that I did, I kind of underestimated this book. Not that I thought it would be bad or anything, I didn't think it would be quite as surreal and metaphorical as it became. Like, this book, I was expecting a more straightforward story. Because I always hear Jason always talking about plot and character and yada yada yada, and nobody cares about characters anymore, and I'm like, okay buddy, I'll read your book and see what you got going. I can't say I hated this book. I didn't hate it. Jason pointed out to me, he's like, do you think you would have liked it if you didn't know me? And I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know if I can answer that. But in all honesty, like, it's very opaque at times, like I said in the video. This is not for the faint of heart. There is some fucked up shit that happens in this, so, there's some rapi in this, so, so if you're, squeamish with that stuff, I wouldn't recommend reading this. But if you like a more, if you want to work hard for your reading, I would recommend reading A Song for the End of the World. I'm actually thinking about rereading this at some point, because I don't know if I fully got everything out of the experience that Jason wanted me to. That makes it sound like he paid me to do a review. I didn't. I had him on and we discussed the book. I'll link that down below. It was a very fun video to make. Though it was very tough because I didn't want to spoil it, but at the same time I kind of wanted to talk about the plot and what he was going for. Yeah, so I'll warn you right now, this book is a bit opaque. It's surreal. There's stuff that happens that might throw you off, and you're like, what the hell is this? It'll get you. So just keep that in mind when you read this. I'm not saying it's like, Finnegan's Wake or I don't know, what's another difficult book, Blood Meridian or something like that. It's not like that. It's a simple story. It's just, it goes in some directions I wasn't expecting. I'll keep it like that. What are some other things I consumed during this month? I'm gonna look up my letterbox real quick. Last month. Yes. Ah, yes. Okay. So, April, I saw a couple of movies. My movie watching has been terrible. I'm spoiled for content, so you know, it's just been bad. Air. I saw Air for my work, and also I was intrigued because I think Ben Affleck's a pretty good director. I think he's a good director when he puts his mind to it. Most of the movies I've seen from him, I've liked. My favorite being The Town, which he made a few years ago. Well, actually, not a few years ago. It's been more than a decade now. That's crazy. Easy. I enjoyed Era. It was a lot better than I was expecting. I was expecting kind of your, standard, kind of, not really a biopic, but standard kind of true story movie. And it became a lot more than that. It was really, really fun, very funny, surprisingly, and very much about the politics and the intrigue within Nike. And I don't care about basketball. I don't like basketball, but this movie was pretty good. So I mean, it was a solid film. I saw Requiem, which is a short movie about Puritans and witches and being gay in Puritan times. It was an interesting one. Bella Ramsey's in it. You might know her from The Last of Us. She was also in Game of Thrones for a bit. She was very good in the movie. Very understated performance. It's a short movie. You can watch it for free on YouTube if you want. I got my buddy. I got Jason to watch it, and he was just like, "Man, there's no horror in this." I'll put it this way: it's a dark romance. It's not really a horror. I don't know why they called it horror. Maybe it's horror for if you're a gay person, but I digress. I also saw Outlaw King, which is pretty much more historically authentic Braveheart. It's about the same characters that Braveheart covers. It's just not quite Brave. I actually rewatched Braveheart this last month because I was for some reason I wanted to watch it again and see if it held up. Actually, no. I started The Prisoner, and it made me think of Longshanks, who plays the main character in The Prisoner. He also created it. And it made me want to watch Braveheart again. So I watched Braveheart again, and he's very good in that movie. But Outlaw King. Outlaw King is very good. My woman crush, Florence Pugh, is in it. She's fine as fuck as always. Chris Pine's in it. He does a very surprisingly better than I thought it would have been Scottish accent. I mean, I'm not a Scottish person by any means, but his Scottish accent sounds very, very believable. It was made by the same guy who did Hell or High Water, which is a fantastic movie. It has become one of my favorites the last couple of years. It's very, very good movie. The guy who plays Stannis is in it. Stephen Delane is in it. He plays Longshanks. Very good. Yeah, just a good movie. I enjoyed watching it, and not really much else for me to say there. I enjoyed it. It was gonna be a 3.5, but it's so charming, and there's a lot of really you care about what's going on, so I gave it a 4. So yeah, no, it was a very good movie. I thought, very. I enjoyed myself when watching it. I'll put it that way, and I would recommend watching it. It's on Netflix if you want to see it. Give me a second, kitty. I'm making a video here. Yeah, so that's really most of what I did and saw and consumed in April. I'll be back doing this in May. It's May right now, so I'll be back doing this at the end of the month or sometime later. So, yeah, this is what I consumed in April. Let me know what you guys read in the comments down below. If you want to check me out on Twitter, it's more unfiltered than my YouTube videos here. Go check that out. Go check out my Goodreads and Letterboxd, where you'll see better reviews than the ones you probably just saw right here. And also check out my Discord, please. Pretty please. I'll link it down below. It doesn't cost any money. Just join. Just join, please. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I've been Britton. I hope you guys have a good day. See you guys later.